Hello, how's everybody doing tonight?
Well, thank you. How are you today?
I'm doing great.
I'm good, thank you.
Good. I've got my video off today because I do not have a much stronger signal today than I did last week, and hopefully that'll alleviate some of the choppiness.
Okay.
Because of the bandwidth. So one of the things I want to do tonight was first go over a couple things from last week's discussion and the assignment. When we had the Zoom meeting last week, I said one of the things I'm looking for is for you all to think and pull information from other sources, and that was one of the reasons why I asked that question about what are the functions of management. If we're going to relate or call public relations a function of management, we first have to know what the functions of management are so that we understand how public relations actually fits in.
Okay.
All right. So one person actually listed those functions in his response, and I thought that he did a pretty good job of explaining it. So really the overall functions of management are planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. And as we look at some processes and steps or things that we need to do in terms of PR, all of those things fall into one of those different categories.
Okay.
All right. Any questions on that? Or thoughts?
Yeah, I had a question. You didn't get no comment. You didn't get no comment back from me on mine, so I didn't know where I made my mistake at, and you gave me a 5 out of 6. So I didn't know how I missed the point, and I didn't get if I had done something wrong.
Okay, I won't talk about individual grades in the Zoom meeting.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
I'm unable to access Ember right now, so it's not authorizing me to get in. So I don't know how I did overall, but I would definitely take a look at that. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So the other issue was with the assignment and listing the organization for your PR campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And and I don't know if any of you all had this issue, but I do know that there were a number of people that were not on the Zoom that did. I really want I want your PR campaign to be on your current organization so that it's something that you can use now.
Okay.
And not an abstract thing such as the NFL or Major League Baseball or something along those lines if you're not actually working for those different organizations.
Okay.
And so those that submitted something, I did put those in the comments. And if you don't have a grade, that's why. And until you actually respond with something like that, that's when I'll actually give you a grade, and that won't be considered as late.
Okay.
But understand, the next assignment for your PR plan is due, I believe it's due on Friday. So, if we don't get those settled quick, then now we're running into things that will end up being late. So,
okay.
So just go ahead and take a look at those comments, and if you have one, if not, then you've already been graded out and you're good to go.
Okay.
So are there questions on the organizations that you are?
I think you took the softball thing where that.
No, like I said, I can't access Ember right now, so I'm looking at what it is due other than the readings. I'm at a loss right now.
Okay.
It's due on Saturday.
It's due on Saturday.
Mhm. If I'm not, I've already put in a help ticket for my Ember, my inability to access Ember. If for some reason I can't access it, how do you want me to submit the information to you?
Just shoot me an email and tell me that you still can't access it, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Because everything has to be grade wise has to be submitted there,
Mm-hmm.
or I can't actually grade you out unless I give you a 0, and we're not doing that. So
Okay.
so let's just say
Thank
for the
you.
discussion, you don't get access until Thursday, and the first post is due on Wednesday. You'll be fine. Just let me know.
I will do. Thank you so much for that.
Okay.
It says it just say please view the Zoom meet. Please view the Zoom meeting week. View this week's Zoom meeting for the organizational parameters. But I didn't get a grade, but it don't say what I did wrong or what happened.
Well, we talked last week about which organization to choose, and that was when I said I wanted you all to choose something. Choose the organization that you're working with, and build a PR campaign that's something that can help you in your current position.
Right now, I'm not a part of an organization at the moment. I'm not coaching or anything like that. So,
okay, then you shoot me an email or text or a phone call sometime tomorrow, and we can talk about it. It's and we can go from there. How about that?
okay.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I guess I'll have to do the same thing because I'll send you an email.
Okay. That'll work. So the two main things that I want to talk about tonight in terms of the content for this week is, the structure or the building the public the PR campaign, the process that you go through. The first thing that we have to do is number one is figure out who we want to get our message to. And this is probably the biggest hurdle to overcome, because the way we communicate, the way organizations communicate with different publics has changed. It used to be that we would communicate directly with mass communication entities, whether it be newspapers, radio, television, what have you, and that is still one way that we get our message to the masses or to the public. But that's not the primary way that we do it anymore. The primary way that we communicate is through let's just say through direct communication, whether that be through the website, through social media, through emails, those types of communications. And if we're doing that, we need to know who is actually using the different platforms to get information in different places. So, for example, the primary people that are using Facebook are adults 35 and over, more females than males.
Mm-hmm.
Again, going in a little bit deeper, they've got they're more educated. They're
conferences.
They've got a higher household income. Those different types of things.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to decide, how we're going to reach the people that are consuming our product or service, that product or service, and make sure that we're reaching them where they're at.
Okay.
So in terms of the research, it's really twofold where you have to look. Number one is who they are, and why are they consuming our product or service, and then how we're going to reach them where they're at.
Okay.
I'm not sure if any of you have any type of a marketing background at all or anything, but it's the same thing when we're looking at our demographic profiles. It really isn't any different.
Okay. Okay, so since I can't access Ember, a question for you. So I know that I resubmitted um, doing some PR for my volleyball teams and having them work in the community. Something like that. Is that what you're looking for? Am I on the right track?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So then the individuals that I'm working with, and in terms of demographics, that is middle school kids working with younger kids to promote volleyball. That's pretty much my scope of that work.
That's way too narrow, because you're who's making decisions for the middle school kids?
Okay, well, I'm the volleyball coach, so I'd be making the decision for the volleyball for the camps that we would set up per se to promote volleyball to the younger kids.
No.
Okay.
It's the parents. You may make the decisions for the camp, right? But
right.
How are you communicating those to the kids? More than likely, there may be some direct communication with the kid, but a lot of the communication still has to go through the parents.
To the parents, okay.
Because the parents are the ones, again, that are making the decisions if they can do it, in terms of financial time, all those other extraneous things that come into play.
Okay.
You're also, your publics are also maybe the facilities.
Okay.
And then sponsors, manufacturers, equipment manufacturers, those types of things.
Yeah, at this level, though, we actually, honestly, our facilities are the outdoor blacktop. We have no sponsors, and manufacturers is just the equipment that we purchase for use for general volleyballs. Like the Spalding volleyball. It's like there's no sponsorship or anything. It's not that detailed here. It's a pretty novice program.
But it could. But what I'm saying is, it could be if you built a plan. Some of those things could help it grow. So where maybe you could get some financial help to do whatever it is that you want to do.
Okay.
So let's just say you're doing a community volleyball program, and you go to, we'll just say Spalding, and say, look, I'm doing this. They may not give you anything, but let's say that they give you some nets and they give you some balls. Okay.
Okay.
And then that's something that you don't necessarily have to buy, or you don't have to to get from wherever else. It's already there, and then the money that you're going to use to do that can be spent somewhere else. Those types of things need to be thought about.
Okay. Okay, that's. Thank you for that.
Okay. Other questions about the research piece?
Actually, I do have something I'd like to add. I know that I'm reading over the course of the weekend. It was said that since we have to collaborate all of these small projects into one large project at the end, do you want these submitted on PowerPoint, or do you want these submitted just in a document, with a written document, like a text?
As a written document.
Okay.
Especially submitted up through Ember. If you submit it as a Word file, that's really best. That way, when I open it up, I can edit it. I can put my comments in it, if need be, and that sort of thing. If you submit it as a PowerPoint or a PDF file, it's very difficult to. I can do it, but it's just difficult to do.
Okay.
I had a question. So with this advanced research and the campaign objective, that's what we putting in for this week that you just talked about?
Yes.
So we just doing like finding out what message we want to send, like primary stuff, and who we using this for, who's trying to get. Okay, so what would the personal interviews would be? What would we do? Personal interviews with informed sources or academics and professionals?
You could. That doesn't always happen, but it depending on what you're doing. Where you get some information from could be from personal interviews. Now, what's listed there isn't always applicable. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. So
we just listing our goals then, just our goals of what we're trying to do for our for our sports organization.
Well, for the PR plan, not the organization, but
the plan, yeah, for the plan.
right. And where you're going to get the information from, or what information you're trying to actually get. We're fine.
So we just what information we trying to get for the
Yeah. What information do you think you need?
Okay.
What information do you need to be able to carry out the ultimate goal that you're trying to carry out? And obviously, like I said, the biggest piece is, you know, who you want to send the message to, who you want to receive the message, and how you want to, and how they actually, not how you want them to receive it, but how they receive information from you. We may want them to receive it one way, but that's not the way that they want to get it. So we have to make sure that we're reaching them where they are, not where we want them to be. You know, eventually we can direct them to where we want them to be and give it to them that way. But initially we have to reach them where they're at. Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions on that?
No.
Okay. So the other big piece that, you know, may not actually seem applicable right now, but as we build the plan, it's the evaluation piece. In other words, how are we going to know that we were actually successful in communicating what we want to communicate? And the biggest issue that we generally run into is, you know, just because people attend an event or do what we want them to do doesn't necessarily mean that our plan or our input was what drove them. And so the biggest and easiest example that I can give is in ticket sales. So let's just say, you know, in day one this year, we had, you know, 1,000 more ticket sales than day one last year. And we did a promotion for day one this year. Just because we did that promotion and the ticket sales rose doesn't mean that they were there because of the promotion that we did. So,
Okay.
So just because you all have a plan and you implement the plan doesn't necessarily mean that's the reason that you got the results that you wanted. So you have to find a way to measure that you got the results, or that your plan either worked or did not work. That there was some I guess that they responded to your message. Let's put it that way. And that piece right there is kind of a difficult concept, especially since, you know, this is probably the first time you all are doing this, and where I'm not going to say, okay, you know, you have this plan and this is how you think you want to do it. It may or may not work, and that's fine. But it's more that I want you all to start thinking about it from that perspective. All right.
Yeah, I have to say, you know, this is very new to me. So if I stumble a little bit, just
you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You know, you're a teacher, so think about it this way. If a student learns something, let's say you're talking about something in class, and a student learns something. It may not necessarily be because of what you did directly, but they still learned it, right? So,
right.
So maybe you talked about something and they didn't quite get it, and then you put them in a small group project, and another student says, "Okay, this is how I think about it," and it clicks for that student, right? So you communicated the message, but they got it from somewhere else. So think about it from that standpoint. Yes, we're glad they got it, and yes, we're glad that they responded, but maybe not necessarily because of what you did.
Okay.
Right?
Got it. True.
And that's and again, there's no value there. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just we just need to know if what we're doing, what we're saying, what our actions are being effective. If they're effective, great. Let's keep doing it. If they're not effective, we've got to find a way to make sure that it is. That's all.
Make adjustments, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question, Dr.
Hey,
Dr. Tim, if I can address you by your first name.
that's fine.
Okay. My question is, obviously, I received your feedback, and let me just see here. It was actually an organization where I'm a soccer coach, assistant varsity soccer coach, and it was another 5K Chief Challenge at the Hopeka High School, obviously. Now, my question is, it will be probably hard to find some related literature in reference to the project. So what happens then, like, if I cannot find anything?
What do you mean by related literature?
Well, it says journal articles or any books. I mean, I cannot, I was looking for it and I wasn't able to find. I can find maybe an article here and there from the record, just maybe something that was published.
I'm not understanding what you're actually.
References from my paper.
Okay, so where are you getting your information from?
Sources.
So where would you be getting your information from?
I attended the event myself, and I have a close relationship with I guess one of the person who was in charge of the event.
So that would be an example, like Keith's question, where personal interviews would be more appropriate for your project, and maybe less appropriate for others. There may not be let's just say a journal article or textbook directly related to what they're doing, but maybe you'll find other information about how other organizations dealt with a project similar to yours. Maybe there's information on the website, on different websites. So that list there is just kind of an idea, kind of a guide to help you get started.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
Is there a specific length of, or I know that sometimes it's 300 words, 500 words. Are you just looking for a bulleted list, or just was there like a maximum or minimum that your requirement is in terms of writing?
For this assignment,
Yes.
No. And I look at it from the standpoint of generally when we make a plan like this, the plan has to go up through the channels, and they don't want to read a narrative. They want to see this is how we're going to do it. So more bullets. There should be some narrative. But from my standpoint, what you all turn into me, it's really up to you. I'm not going to ding you if you do one or the other.
Okay. Hmm. Okay.
Are there any other questions? Because that's about all I wanted to cover today.
I just had one question. You never did you give us your number? I think I misplaced it. Is it possible I can get it, or just text?
It's 717.
717. Yeah.
676.
6676.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
1749.
1749. Okay. Is there a particular time? I don't get off until like around this time. if I could call you back tomorrow around this time.
Yeah, give me a call. I'm running a golf tournament, so I may be on the golf course or doing some scoring, but if I can answer, I'll answer. Okay, and if not, we'll hook up. We'll hook up. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Oh, I do have one other question. In terms of responses to the discussion, is there a minimum number of discussion responses that you're looking for?
You have to respond to at least one person.
Okay.
And in that response, again, I'm looking for you to add value to the response or to ask a thought-provoking question about their response.
Okay. Response. Okay, so a question. Okay. Okay, thank you for answering that.
Anybody else?
No, not me.
No, I'm good.
Not me, no.
Very, very good. Well, you all have a great week, and I'll talk to you next week.
Okay, thank you so much for the feedback.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye.